Before we say a single word about asthma, about technology, about health and equity, I want you to do something really simple. Inhale, hold it in for a moment, and exhale. Feels good, doesn't it? The quiet relief, the tiny reset. But did you think about the air you just breathed? Here's a question most of us never ask. Was the air clean? Did it carry dust from a moldy wall? Pollen from a neighbor's tree? Smoke from a car idling outside? Or was it fresh? Like the dawn breeze over the manga, like the of Tāwhirimātea himself. For most of us watching this, the answer is probably fine. We take clean air for granted, but for thousands of tamariki in Aotearoa, every single breath is a gamble. When every creature was created, when the first dawn broke over this whenua, the first thing they did was not to see, not to speak, not to stand. The first thing they did was to breathe. Because breath is life, and te reo Māori means both breath and the essence of life itself. It's the winds in the trees, the sigh of a loved one, the karakia that begins a gathering. And Tāwhirimātea, the atua of winds, of storms, of the very air we move through, reminds us that this invisible thing around us is sacred. It connects us to the whenua, to the sky, and to each other. In the Māori mode of health, te whare tepa wha, well-being is like a house, 4 walls. Now imagine that one wall, taha tinana, has a crack in it. A crack called asthma. Asthma is a chronic lung condition. The airways become inflamed, narrow, and filled with mucus. An attack feels like drowning while standing still. In Aotearoa, 1 in 7 children take medication for asthma, but the numbers tell a painful story. Māori children are hospitalized for asthma at 1.5 times the rate of Pākehā children. For Pacific children, it's nearly double. And the most heartbreaking number? Over 80% of asthma hospitalizations for children under 5 are preventable. Preventable. That word cuts really deep, because the main triggers aren't mysterious. They're mold, dampness, poor ventilation, crowded housing, secondhand smoke, and they cluster in the homes where our low-income whānau live, often in rental properties that fail the healthy home standards. So what happens? A child wakes up coughing at 2 a.m. Whānau rush to the emergency department. The child misses school. Again. Falls behind, feels different, feels scared to run at lunchtime, and feels ashamed of their inhaler. Now that's not just a crack and taha tinana anymore. That's also mental and emotional health. Taha hinengaro, crumbling too. Anxiety about the next attack. Frustration at being left out. And taha whānau, parents miss work, siblings lose sleep, the whole house shakes. But here's what breaks my heart the most. No one warns these families. There's no affordable device that sits on a child's bag and says, hey, the air in this room just got dangerous. Open a window, step outside, or call the landlord. Not until now. So let me introduce you to Tāwhirimātea, named after the atua of winds, because every breath deserves respect. It's a low-cost, wearable sensory clip about the size of a portable pendant. Waterproof. Battery lasts 5 days. It measures 4 things: humidity, temperature, volatile organic compounds, basically mold and chemical fumes, plus particle matter from smoke and dust and pollen. When the air is clean, the clip goes green. When it's getting risky, orange. When it's dangerous, red. And it vibrates gently, so even if you're not looking, you feel it. A soft nudge from Tāwhirimātea himself. The moment it vibrates orange, you open the app. A little breathing game appears. An animated Tāwhirimātea says, "Time for some breathing. 3 slow breaths with me," as we did at the start of the video. You breathe in as his chest rises. You breathe out as his chest falls. That's it. That's the magic. 30 seconds, you've turned a trigger into a moment of calm. But the real power is for the whānau. The app sends a quiet notification to mom or dad. Arya has been in a high mold zone for 20 minutes. Check the bathroom for dampness. It logs the data so that when you call Kaianga Ora or your landlord, you have proof. A template letter is ready to go, and evidence is power. Even doctors benefit. Instead of guessing what triggers a child's asthma, they see a clear timeline. High mold on Monday, cough on Tuesday, high pollen Thursday, and a wheeze on Friday. That means better medication and fewer side effects and less time in emergency. A single asthma hospital admission costs Fatu Ora around $2,000. If Tāwhirimātea prevents just 2 admissions per school, it pays for itself. And that's before you count the human cost. The sleepless nights, the missed learning, the trauma even. To build this, we need a team. A hardware engineer to design the clip, a mobile app developer to build the games and dashboard, a respiratory specialist to set the safety thresholds, a multicultural advisor to ensure that every karakia, every atua character, every tikanga is respected, and most importantly, tamariki themselves, because they'll tell us what works and what doesn't. So let's go back to the first breath. Remember the beginning of this video? When I asked you to inhale and exhale? Let's do it again. Together. Inhale. Hold it. And exhale. That feeling of ease, that quiet relief, every child in Aotearoa deserves it. Not as a luxury, but as a birthright. We can't fix every moldy house overnight. We can't wave a wand and end poverty, but we can give families a tools to see the invisible, to name the enemy, to breathe with intention and power. When every creature was created, the first thing they did was to breathe. So let's make sure our children can do the same. Not in fear, not in struggle, but freely, deeply, sacredly. I'm Bella from Wellington Girls College. This is my breath. This is my change. Tāwhirimātea, breathe easy, stand strong.